This is the last session of our 4-week series in Parenting with Purpose for parents with children that's been diagnosed with ADHD, and so how to deal with this at home. Now, I hope that you enjoyed the series so far, and I would really appreciate it if you can give me a referral or just a one-liner of what helped you in the series at the end of this. Now, without further ado, I'm going to jump into tonight, and I'm going to share you the screen for unconventional therapies that we can also use to help our children that's been diagnosed with ADHD. Now, I also want to stress that this can also be used for children that is growing up, that's in their teenage years, that is struggling a bit. All of these can help for that as well, but this specifically helps with emotional regulation for children with the diagnosis of ADHD. So the disclaimer that I want to give you is that these therapies might work better per individual and should be explored as an individual basis over at least 3 months to see the improvement and the progress. So examples for therapies that shows promise, the normal route that they first tell you for children with ADHD would be the conventional speech occupational physical therapy, which is geared towards the end to enhance or restore a person's functioning, helping them to achieve independence in all areas of life. Now, speech therapy will be specifically to focus on communication skills and improved intelligibility. Physical therapy will be to help them with their gross motor skills, which means the bigger movement skills, where occupational therapy works with fine motor skills like writing, picking up a knife and a fork, how to place blocks, play Lego, that type of thing. These therapies can form a vital part of treatment for children with ADHD and other non-neurotypical symptoms by improving cognitive function and motor skills, as well as to improve their self-esteem and interpersonal relationships. The following therapies that I'm going to show you after this is also is a bit more unconventional. However, they have proven over time to have a great benefit towards improving the ADHD symptoms. Now, before we go on to the next slide, I also want to stress that all these therapies show you also how children play in the earlier years. And it is really important for our children to be able to play. By playing hide and seek with your child, or by playing with them board games, or by helping them how to color in a picture, or by just spending time with them singing songs and doing rhymes. With all of these, we are actually helping our children to improve their skills in communication and intelligibility. We need to know that this is necessary for us to spend time and talk with our children on their level and also as grown-ups, so that they can learn from us as they will learn from our example. But what is very, very important is in the first 7 years of a child's life, the brain actually forms connections, and it forms it in the fastest part of your whole lifetime in those first 7 years, the first 3 being the most important. Now, if they don't get the interaction with other people, for instance, if the father and the mother is working really hard and they don't give all the interaction towards the child and they don't get that very necessary play in, it doesn't really matter how hard you're going to push them at school, because the early connections have not been made. Having said that, we also need to know that we can, over time, change that, but it's going to take them a little bit longer. But we can change the way that our synapses work through repetition. And this is why the following unconventional therapies works really well. Now, first of all, I want to say martial arts. All kind of martial arts training is really good for your child's development, as it has that very, very strong repetition, as well as the midline cross section type of play that the child gets. So training in martial arts such as karate, judo, mixed martial arts, Chinese kung fu, Muay Thai, taekwondo, Jiu-jitsu can help with building repetitive skills as well as balance the body with muscular improvement. The martial arts has proven to help with balance, attention, motor coordination, social skills, eye contact, and very important, peripheral vision, to name a few examples. The exercise will also help your child to expend anxious energy and get endorphins going. My children both did karate from the age of 4 until at least the age of 8 to start with. Now, for me, it was really important to teach them karate because as you can see in this picture, it's not what you do for your children, but what you teach them to do for themselves that will make them successful human beings. For me, martial arts don't always teach just the exercise, but it also teach mental and physical endurance. And that is really important. It also helps with memory, as the repetitive skills that you learn with your katas that you're doing and how to remember that is very important. The next one that we're going to look at is brain balancing therapy. Now, brain balancing therapy is very much a type of, I want to say, acupuncture, hookah, the midline crossing type of exercise that you will learn, which they also need to learn when they are crawling as babies. But this is just something else that's going to push on top of that to help. Now, Brain Balance Achievement Centers was opened by Dr. Robert Melillo to help kids with non-neurotypical symptoms such as ADHD, dyslexia, and ASD to reach their physical, social, and academic potential. These brain gyms has proven to be extremely effective for children, especially with ADHD. You can read more about it in his book, Disconnected Kids. According to Dr. Melillo, a child's brain is very changeable and with specific therapies can rewire itself to enable fully balancing functioning. Dr. Melillo advised that brain balancing therapy, together with dietary modifications, very important, and correction of nutritional imbalances, you can reverse the spectrum disorders and many sensory-related issues. Brain gym is one of the therapies suggested for brain balancing. Now, I want to stress that this is really important to not only think the brain gym is going to do everything, but the nutritional imbalances that's coming there with it, really important. And if you need me to advise you for somebody that works with blood analysis and nutritional imbalances, I can give you a name of a very, very good functional nutritionist that can help you with that. Equine therapy has also been proven to help children with all non-neurotypical disabilities. So horse-assisted therapy can be extremely beneficial as it helps the child with sensory processing, behavior, and emotional regulation. Riding horses improves muscle strength and tone. It helps with balance, posture, flexibility, motor coordination, and concentration. At the same time, being able to ride also improves self-esteem and confidence. You can imagine that being in control of such a large animal and you're such a small child or even a teenager will give you self-confidence and self-esteem. It also helps you to get your posture right. And when the posture is right, we get self-confidence automatically. The next one I want to touch on, I actually also looked into. It can be really expensive, but have very positive results. It's neurotherapy, that's also known as EEG biofeedback, has shown consistent evidence of improvements in ADHD symptoms after training in several studies. Now, exactly what is this? Is they will put on sensors, like you can see in the right-hand picture, on the child, and then they will show him images on a TV, or he will play a video game, and his neurons in his brain will then be measured by the sensors that has been put on. So in a study done by Dr. Vincent Monastra, which is a doctorate in New York, the results proved that children could make their medication less by 50% after treatment and were able to see that the benefit remained after the treatment had ended. Also showed us that new synapse connections can be made if you train the brain. So you can lessen the effects of the ADHD in the brain by brain training, and biofeedback is one of them. Again, if you need me to advise you for a center to do that, I do know about one in Dubai, and one of our colleagues here in Parents with Purpose. We've got also one in South Africa, but we can find out for centers across the world if necessary. The other one is auditory integration treatment and was pioneered by Guy Berard, who was a doctor in France. It has shown benefits by reducing ADHD symptoms and lifting depression. Now, in this therapy, although there are little clinical studies done on that, there's many anecdotal studies that has proven a beneficial effect on brain development. We all know that music has got a very big developmental benefit for growing kids, and taking music is one of the best things that you can do for a growing child to develop their brain synapses. Now, in auditory integration treatment, it typically consists of 20 half-an-hour sessions over 10 days that involve listening to a specific filtered and modulated music. You can read more about both of these neurotherapies in neurobiofeedback.org. Then lastly, I want to also touch on chiropractic care and osteopathy. Now, I very much believe in chiropractic care because through manipulation, your chiropractor performs adjustment to correct any misalignments of the vertebrae in your child's spine. We know that if a baby suffers from colic, that very, very often, if you take them to a chiropractor and he just makes the misalignments better and align the spine again, the colic goes away. It also goes for babies who really struggle to sleep on their back or on their side, and very often it's because they have pain. Now, the same goes for a child who can't sit still. It can be that there's a misalignment that make them feel uncomfortable, but they don't know exactly what it is. So taking them to a chiropractor every now and then so that they can align their spines is really good for them, and it can really help them to just focus a little bit better on what they need to focus because the alignment has been set straight. Spinal manipulation has been shown to improve ADHD children's emotional and intellectual functioning, and I highly, highly suggest that you do take them every 6 months to a chiropractor for alignment. You can also take them to an osteopath because osteopath seeks to resolve the structural issues in the body. Now, what is the difference between an osteopath and a chiropractor? For me, a chiropractor is essentially looking at the skeleton and the misalignments of the skeleton in the body. I do call them magicians because you can have a misalignment in your ankle, which can have an effect on your shoulder, and they will be able to seek that out. Now, what osteopaths do is the same than that, but they also look at your soft tissues. So all the structural issues in the body is being checked by an osteopath. Problems of labor and delivery may have compromised the structural integrity of the head and spine, and this disturb the nervous system within it, which may interfere with physiological development. An osteopathic assessment of the child can be useful to ensure that there is no undue strain in the body that may be contributing to or aggravating the learning problem. Osteopathic treatment is a precise, gentle, and restorative manipulative therapy that may assist in ADD or ADHD. The general level of well-being, as well as a neurological function, may improve after your osteopathic treatment. Osteopathy may be used in conjunction with other therapies, but as tutoring and well-balanced diet, whole and natural foods is always important. At home, you can also administer aromatherapies and herbal teas. I'm a very big believer, and I'm also a clinical aromatherapist. And with that, I would like to stress that essential oils needs to be handled with care. Essential oils have the ability to actually enter the body and help change the chemical structure up to brain level. So we need to actually make sure that we have the right essential oils that we are using. So I'm going to give you a few names that is beneficial, especially with ADHD. Make sure if you buy essential oils that it is from a reputable company and a good source. Essential oils have been used since the time of the Bible to give different ailments and cognitive improvements. The following oils have been proven to help alleviating symptoms of ADHD. Cinnamon will help you to boost cognitive function, mental alertness, and concentration. Evening primrose oil also boosts the immune function and aid in your nerve health. In conjunction with omega-3, this has proven to alleviate ADHD symptoms up to 50% and can also be taken internally. Improvements was in attention span and in memory health. My all-time favorite is always lavender. Lavender helps to soothe emotions and is relaxing. It also relaxes muscles and helps you to aid sleep. Bergamot is for anxiety, stress, and OCD. If you feel like that anxiety is overtaking you, burning bergamot in a burner in your room will definitely help to just alleviate the tip of that iceberg. One that I use very often for studying is frankincense. Frankincense is powerful in brain balancing. It promotes mental clarity, memory and focus, and it helps with sleep difficulties. I also suggest always that frankincense be taken at a time or be burned in a room where studying for exam is happening. And if possible, while the exam is going on, that they have a little paper with frankincense scents on it so that the smell can just help them. If it's at all possible to do that, I would definitely take frankincense as the choice of essential oil. Valerian is a powerful aid in sleep. If you look at herbal teas, an iced tea during summer months can be made up front, or even warm tea in the evening is nice and relaxing. You can make it up front and keep it in the fridge for cooling times as well. Chamomile is very well known for helping against anxiety, mood disorders, colic, healing the gut, immune supporters, and the sleep aid. Chamomile tea is widely known as to be taken when you relax. Acai berry is getting popularity these days, and as in tea, it helps with mental clarity and focus. Also, very nice in ice lollies, and you can also use the acai berry for a very beneficial breakfast in the morning. Lavender tea also helps against anxiety and is soothing, and it's a very good sleep aid. Here in Dubai, we've got a shop called Viva, and they have a relaxation tea and a sleep tea, which contains lavender and chamomile. And I highly suggest that as an every evening drink before bed. Cinnamon, on the other hand, helps with mental clarity and focus, and is a good idea to do a cinnamon roll or a cinnamon bun or something like that for lunchtime during school times. Then you also get tulsi tea, which has been used by the Indians for many, many thousands of years and is highly suggested in the field of Ayurveda. Tulsi tea helps with anxiety and mood disorders. Information that I have done in this session, I gathered mainly from Healing Without Hurting, It's a book that has been written by a mom, Jennifer Gizek, and she has been treating her child that had ADHD and autism disorders. And she did a lot of research in this field. It is amazing to see another mother that's on the same track as what we are, that wrote a book about how she helped herself. I've also sent you in our WhatsApp group the small little video about her and her child. I highly suggest that you get this book because there is a lot of good reading in there, but also proven and not so proven, but what she has done with her child as well, that helped, suggestions that you can do. Remember, in ADHD, not everyone is the same, and we have to find our own path. But it doesn't mean that we are alone. We are here to support each other. If you have any other questions, more than welcome to contact me at any time, and we can work together. Thank you for listening.